So when I'm looking at this kite, I need to think about what I know about the relationships between the sides and the angles. Now, X is the only thing I don't have to show any work for on here because this angle and this angle, these opposite angles on a kite, are congruent to each other, the non-vertex angles. So, if this is 96 degrees, X is also 96 degrees, and I don't have to show any work for that. From this point on, I need to show work. One thing I know about a kite is it's a quadrilateral, so it has four sides. So to find y, the sum of all of the angle measures has to be 360. I'm going to subtract out the two 96-degree angles and the 24-degree angle down there on the bottom, so y ends up being 144 degrees. To find a, well, if this is a, these two are congruent, so this is also a. If this is 10, these two are congruent, so this is also 10. And it tells me that my perimeter is 64. So 2a plus 20 has to equal 64, which means 2a has to equal 44. So a equals 22. Yes, the work on here is required. So now I have this. Again, I know some things about these angle measures. I know if this is x, this is also x. If this is 48 degrees, this is also 48 degrees. If this is 75, this is also 75. Again, I know these two are congruent, which creates an isosceles triangle up here, which means these base angles, these two have to be 75. Same thing here, these two are congruent. So if this is 48, the base angles are congruent, this is 48. I also know that these are perpendicular. If they're perpendicular, it means that it bisects these angles. So if this is x, this is x. If this is y, this is also y. So to actually put that into practice, to find y, I can find it a couple of ways, but since I know that this is a right angle, and I know this is 48 degrees, I can just take my 180, subtract out that 90-degree angle, subtract out the 48-degree angle, and y ends up being 42 degrees. For x, again using this triangle, I can take the 180, subtract out the 90, and subtract out the 75 to get x is 15 degrees. You don't have to show all of these markings on here. That was more my thought process to know why we can set these up. You do need to show this work.